Yo, what's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have another video in our beginner series for Marvel Contest of Champions, and today's video is going to be our beginner slash intermediate bracket arena guide. So again, this is for beginner and intermediate bracket only, where you have really small size rosters. So the way that you arena is very different because there's no infinite streaking. If you're a veteran, you'll know what that is. If you're new, which I assume you are if you're watching this, then that's something that you have to worry about way later on when you have a roster of like 30 plus champions that are at least all rank 3 as 4 stars. But if you're here, you're not there yet. So let's go ahead and jump into how you do arena. So for starters, the reason that you want arena, or that you want to do arena, is that early on you're in a different bracket than the rest of the game. So these arenas where the rewards are going to be 4-star champions, you can get them very easily, as well as you get a very nice chunk of 5-star shards. For perspective, last arena I got Dragon Man, as you can see here, at rank 151 with 700,000 points, which locked in that 1 to 10% and gave me a 4-star Dragon Man. It's a bit time consuming, but if you are trying to progress in the game and try and take it a little bit seriously, or maybe you just see a character in there that you really want, this is the easiest way in the game to target a champion and get them as long as they're in the arena. For the Kingpin, I wasn't trying too seriously. I just was casually doing it whenever I remembered that I had enough characters to start doing it. So with 161,000, I placed 52. So I didn't get the Kingpin because you need to be the top 50, but I ranked 52. So if I would have done just a couple more rounds, I probably could have landed him, and 161 points is very easy to get as long as you have the 4-star roster to do it, because for the 4-star featured arena, which is currently the Super Scroll one, you can only do them with 4 and 5-star champions. So you need at least 3 4-stars to enter this arena, and then the other arena is all 3 and 4 stars. So the way that I would recommend doing arena is separating your characters. So the featured arena, I would only do 4 stars in teams of 3. So let's go ahead and jump into that. The way that I do it is, once you're at win streak 5, start with your strongest champions. And the reason that I do that is because as you get higher in win streak, the fights get more difficult. So you want to do your stronger characters when you're at a lower streak, and you'll know that you'll be able to win, or at least you have the highest chance of winning. The reason I start at win streak 5 is because, as you can see up here, it says the multiplier is 3, which you get once you're at win streak 5. Anytime below that, you have a lower multiplier, so you're not maxing out your points per arena streak. So since I'm already at 5 in this arena, I'm going to go ahead and start from top down, and then I'll show you what the rest looks like. I'm going to fast forward through all the arena fights so that you're not seeing it, because it takes a very long time to do. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so now I'm done with my 4 stars, and you might notice that I still have 1 left. So from here, what your options are you can either just jump into the other arena where you can use 3 or 4 stars and then use him as part of that, or you could recharge these by spending units or the little stamina crystals if you still have those from when you first started. And then you can do another run of just another champion, or if this is a character that you're really excited about, you really don't want to miss losing out on or anything like that, you can just go ahead and keep recharging these and then just keep doing the fights. But I would recommend not doing that until the last like 12 hours or so, for if you think that you're going to miss out. Maybe you ended up being really busy one day and couldn't play as much, or maybe you took a day off when you weren't expecting that and you were able to play a little bit more. That way you can conserve the units if possible. What I would typically aim for this arena would probably be somewhere around like 250 to 300,000. If you're not able to hit that just naturally, I would recommend using units, just because early on those 4 stars are pretty important. But if you have a roster like mine where you have at least 2 teams, it should be able to hit that like 250,000 mark by running it all 2 teams, maybe 3 or 4 times a day, which if you're just doing this arena, as you can see there, those 2 teams probably took about 3 minutes per round, so a total of 4 times a day at 6 minutes per entire run. That's about like half an hour a day. That's not too bad. Now, if you are trying to do both arenas, it's a bit longer. So now what I do after I do this one is I start jumping into here. And then, like I was saying earlier, since I'm at a 0 streak on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at my weakest champions and then work my way up to 5 streaks. And then when I'm at 5 streaks, I'm going to work my way down. So I'm going to show you what that looks like now. But since I'm at 0 streak, like I said, I'm going to start at my weakest champions and then just jump into it and do arena like normal. Alright, we're almost at win streak 5. Almost there. These first couple especially are super grindy because they're super easy. But again, just go straight to the bottom of your list, pick up your weakest champions, and keep pushing through. They call it grinding arena for a reason. Alright, we did it. We're here. We're finally at win streak number 5. As you can see, our multiplier is at 3, which is the maximum. So now instead of going to the bottom and going to our weakest champions, we're going to work from the top down and go with our strongest. Now, what I personally do is I just do my top 3. What you could alternatively do is something called sandbagging, which is putting your 2 top followed by your next bottom. What that does is it gives you a overall lower team rating, so the enemy teams that you should be getting will be lower, so that your two strongest guarantee their chances of winning. However, that means for the third one, you're probably going to have a tougher matchup. So for one, it's going to be longer. Two, it might be more difficult, so you might lose. And if you lose out on those additional points. But it is an option if you want to do it that way, just to secure those top two. However, I like to be a little bit more risky and just a little bit more, just basically more risky, and try and get all of the top ones done all at the same time and just go in order. So let's get started. Also, another thing that I forgot to mention earlier, which you're about to see here, is that 4 stars give more points. Not substantially, which you actually didn't see it there because it was rank 3 stars versus rank 4 star, or a rank 1 4 star, which they even out. But if that 4 star was a rank 2 or the 3 stars were rank 3, the 4 stars just at a base level give more points for the arena, which also applies to 5 and 6 stars. So if you can land a 5 star or multiple 5 stars in your beginner / intermediate bracket, things are infinitely easier for you, because I believe that 4 or 5 stars give like something insane like 20,000, or I want to say it's somewhere like 20,000 per fight or something close to that at max multiplier. So it just makes things infinitely easier. Alright, so this is where things get a little bit tricky, because as you can see, I made it to win streak 9. I've used all of my champions except for this last team. So this, if you have this size roster, this is where you have to make a decision. So you can either win this fight, which means at the end of this, you'll be at win streak 10. And then starting your next round, you would be at win streak 10. So you wouldn't have to do that build up multiplier and start immediately from your strongest characters. However, like I was saying earlier, the higher your win streak, the higher the difficulty. So those fights are going to be more risky because they're going to be harder champions with higher power index, which is that number next to under their name. They're going to hit harder. Most likely they're going to be more 4-star champions. So those fights are just overall going to be harder. They're going to take longer, which is probably the most annoying part. And it's going to be risky because if you lose those points. The alternative is you can do what I do, which is try and win maybe one of those fights, whichever one you think is the easiest, and then just instant quit the other one, so that when you start your next streak, you start at 0 and you can just rinse and repeat exactly what we just did here. because if you saw the points where I started and where I'm at now, it was probably roughly somewhere around like 75,000, which is a pretty good amount to get per run, especially if we're going to be aiming for somewhere around like 600 to 750,000. That means I only really have to do somewhere between 8 and 10 runs over 3 days, which is averaging about 3 runs per day. And this one took me roughly 33 minutes, 32 minutes, somewhere around there, to do all of my champions. That's an hour and a half a day, which you can split up as much as you want. You can do it in 5-minute increments, whatever the case is, whatever's easier for you. But what I do here is I'll just go in, select whichever fight I would think the easiest, which is going to be the Agent Venom. So who would take him down the fastest? Punisher 2099. I fight this fight like a normal fight and try to win. Try not to get parried though. But like I said, these fights are going to be harder. The AI acts a little bit differently. And more often than not, they're just going to be higher prestige or higher power index fights. So I just picked the lowest one, whichever one's easy. I won that one, so I locked in like 3,000 points. And then I'm just going to hit the pause, quit fight, instantly quit out from there. And then do the same here. So what does that do? That's going to act like I lost a series. It's going to reset my multiplier and my win streak. And then when I next run the arena, it'll be completely fresh and I just have to rinse and repeat what I just did. So that's the way that I believe is easiest. It's the most consistent, it's the least risky, and that way you can lock in a certain amount of points per arena run. And again, you want to aim for the basic arena, which is going to be this one, where there's only the reward is the blue copy of a champion, which is a basic hero. As you can see there under the champion name, it says basic hero. What that means is if you get this champion, if you don't have this champion, you get this champion. But if you have this champion, you only get an awakening gem essentially. So it'll awaken his ability and give it 1. It's not going to be a full duplicate like normal where you would get the 20 signatures. It's only going to count as 1. Whereas this one is the featured arena, and you get, as you can see here, it's just this one that is at the top, which is a full champion. So when you get this one, if you already have this champion, it'll count as a full duplicate. So you get the additional 20 levels as well as the additional ISO, and I think even the 5-star shards. I'm not 100% sure about that, but yeah. So that's my guide. If you have any more questions, if you need a little bit more clarity, anything like that, feel free to leave the comments or feedback or questions or whatever like that in the comments below, and I will go ahead and answer them. I'm going to be having a series of FAQs coming up for things like terminology. So if I'm saying in these videos something like prestige or something like that and you're not sure what they are, I'm going to have a whole separate series dedicated to answering those types of questions. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for sticking through. If you did learn anything from any of my series, let me know. I'm really interested to see just how impactful these are, or if I need to try and do something to make them a little bit more informative, maybe better editing, more graphic, something like that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, love you guys, be safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!